According to the Dating Discomfort Report released by Hinge in 2021, one out of every three women reported getting the ick after their partner expressed emotions. But yet, according to the same study, most women report that an emotionally intelligent partner is what they're wanting. So, what is going on and where is this disconnect happening? Let's talk about it today on The Connection Coach. Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and I've been a licensed marriage and family therapist since 2011 and primarily work with couples on relationship issues. And today I want to take time to talk to you about the ick. The ick is described as this feeling of repulsion or disgust whenever your partner has expressed some sort of uncomfortable emotion, typically when a masculine identifying person cries in front of a female identifying person. Emotional expression is perfectly normal part of the human experience, and it's something that we all have. Everybody has the same emotions and they experience them from time to time. We also know that healthy communication is really necessary for a healthy relationship. So what's going on here and why are these people getting grossed out when their partner starts to cry on them? And more importantly to the question, ladies, are we possibly perpetuating the toxic masculinity that we all claim that we hate? I think that there are a few things happening here, and the research on this seems to back me up. The first reason why I think this is happening is because of our past relationships and our own personal experiences that we have with our family. For example, if we never saw our parents argue, or we never saw our father figure um, cry or get express any other emotion than than anger, or if in previous relationships our partner used their emotions to manipulate us in future relationships, that can really have a huge effect on what we feel when someone displays emotion towards us. Or the second reason I think this is happening is because of our traditional Western values and the gender roles that have developed as a result of this. Typically, when we think of masculine leaning people, we think of those that are emotionally reserved, right? They're stoic in nature. They're not having major outbursts. They are calm, cool, collected. And those people are perceived frequently as being stable. Whereas someone who frequently expresses a lot of emotional reaction, it can come across as if they're not. And for some women, they need that stability in their life because maybe they are the more emotional person. And the last reason that I think this is going on, and this is probably the more to the point reason why women are getting the ick when their men are showing some sort of emotional response to an uncomfortable emotion such as crying when upset or sad, is just because the woman herself is not emotionally available to to provide that support to their partner, right? If I as a person am struggling to regulate my own emotions, it can be really hard and really overwhelming for me to be able to provide that same level of support that my partner is needing if I can't give it to myself. And I want you to understand that we all do the best we can with what we have in the moment. It's okay that you may not be emotionally available for that person because you're also struggling. But it's really important to be able to say that. So, ladies, we really need to take a deep look and see if we might actually be perpetuating the toxic masculinity that we really despise. In a 2012 TED Talk, Brene Brown talked about an interaction that she had with one of her male fans He was there to support his wife and his daughters. And what he said really stood out to me. And I'm paraphrasing. He said, "My wife and my daughters would rather see me die on my white horse than to see me fall." And then he said, "And don't blame it on the guy, because the women in my life are harder on me than anyone else." We see on the news that there is currently a loneliness epidemic that men are facing because they are struggling to be able to discuss their emotions openly with other people in a way that women do. And I could very well see that this is probably due to there being this stigma about expressing emotions and it being seen as being weak versus the strength that it actually is. And here's the thing, all emotions are perfectly normal and it's a part of the human experience that we go through. And so by not giving these guys the space that they need to feel safe and comfortable to express these emotions and to know that their partner, the person who loves and cares about them the most, is going to be willing to support them is really important. As a boy mom, I want my son to know that it's perfectly okay for him to acknowledge that he has feelings and that those feelings are valid and should be expressed. But if I'm not taking time in my life to make sure that I am setting the example that with the men in my life and giving providing them the safe space to express themselves like I am my son, then my words are not matching my actions and I'm actually teaching my son that it really isn't okay. And that's not okay. So in my opinion, it's time for us ladies to really take a hard look in the mirror and to ask ourselves, why exactly do we find ourselves getting the ick when men do what we've been asking them to do the entire time? To be open, to be communicate with them about what they're feeling. There can't be this, you can only express the emotions that I want you to express, because that's not fair. That's then limiting their experience as a person. We need to invite our guys to be open with us, to be vulnerable with us. But for all the love of everything good in this life, please do not laugh at them or react in some negative way, because that is going to do so much harm to them and may make them close down and think that it's not safe to ever share with anybody. And in my last video, I talked about what can happen when we don't open up to others and the negative side effects of that. And if you don't have the emotional bandwidth to be able to support someone who is going through something challenging, then be honest with it. And sometimes just simply saying, I see that you're hurting and I see you trying and I'm proud of you, is enough. We need to show our guys the same level of empathy that we give the girls in our life. Toxic masculinity is really not just a burden of the guys for them to figure out how to get over it themselves. We have to acknowledge the part that we play in perpetuating the very dynamic that we don't want. If you need more proof on why being vulnerable is really a strength and not the weakness that we all think it is, I highly recommend you check out my last video. I'm going to link it down or link it in the box at the end. And that will really explain how this can really benefit and enhance your relationship in the long run. It's time for us to grow and evolve and to do better so that we can all be better. I want to thank you for watching until the end of today's video. I really want to hear from you. What's been your experience? Have you gotten the ick? How did you overcome the ick? Or maybe you didn't get the ick at all and this is a completely foreign concept. And ladies, do you think that we are perpetuating this toxic masculinity that we despise so much by getting the ick and not looking within to see why this expression of emotion is causing it. Of course, more information about today's topic is linked down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be notified of all future episodes from the Connection Coach. And until next time, take care of each other.